Hi everyone, we're back. We've got another eBridge video for you, and now it's final time. We're about to be joined by Adam Kaplan, recent Bermuda Bowl winner Adam Kaplan, who also qualified for the finals. And the first half of the finals is on BBO. We've got 50 boards to play, so we're going to find out how Pete's done, how Adam's done, how we've coped with it no longer being best hand bridge, and we'll get to some results called provisional results by the end. So if you want to see how we've done and some interesting hands, tune in now. Hi everyone, we're back for final time with Pete and Adam. One take. Pete and Adam. So Pete, you know Pete, he's my great rival, but this is Adam Kaplan, our first on the show, actual world champion. Well done to that, Adam. How was that experience for you?
Thanks. I'd like to be your rival too. We'll work on that. No, it was great. The I guess process from winning the trials to sort of I guess starting out as an underdog even in the trials to being USA one, getting to pick a great pair to be able to add, and then actually going and winning the Bermuda Bowl was, just across the board pretty fantastic. Like there's, words aren't really meant to describe these things.
It was amazing. Yeah. But more importantly, a much bigger competition Adam has been playing in recently is the eBridge Cup, and he's with us. He's with myself and Pete. He qualified from the semi-finals and the qualifiers to make the final. How did you find the qualifying and semis, and what did you do did you change your normal style, or how did you find the grind?
So my normal style with robots is very different from my normal style with humans. My normal style with robots is very, very high variance, which suited the qualifying rounds quite nicely because, when you have, let's say, 30, 50 tournaments that you can play in, you can have a few ones where you just completely strike out, or you kind of make a mess of things, and that's totally fine because that one just won't count, right? And you can have just as you had one where all 8 of your decisions were catastrophic, you can have one where all 8 of your decisions were fantastic and led to good boards. And so the qualifying felt like it was, I guess, quite well suited to having a high variance style because of that. That you can, as long as you can put up 10 good games, you can do whatever on earth you want on all the others. And oh boy, did I!
And boy, did we try things.
We definitely did, yeah.
But so I quite like the qualifying for that reason. In that it's a little grindy, right? If you don't want to actually spend the time and just play a ton of tournaments, it's pretty hard to churn out 10 good results quickly. So in that regard, I think it gets a little pricey, one, and two, a little time consuming. That I mean, I was down for it, right? I had a bit of time. It was enjoyable, and why not, right? And at some point I saw Finn was towards the top, and one of the Danish team as well, Andreas, was towards the top, and this was in the first qualifying, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to keep playing even though I'm technically qualifying whatever else. I want to finish above them.
I don't know what you mean. So you finished, I can't remember exact position, but you were hovering around the top 20, top 30 in both of them. You were much higher in the qualifiers than the semis, I think. But you made it in comfortably. And so far, we are halfway through the first week of the 2-week event. And this is the BBO week. So you guys, I believe, have played all your boards, have you?
Yep, I've finished my 50.
Adam?
Regrettably, yes, I have also finished my 50.
So without giving any percentages, how has it gone so far? And how have you found the difference in not being best hand bridge? Because that's what I'm used to personally anyway.
Yeah, Go ahead, Pete.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I found like there was a few hands where I felt like, oh, there's just nothing I can do, and they're just flat. But then there was also some hands where I'm like, oh, there's some very unusual things you can do because they're not best hand to manipulate the bots. I had one example of that came up that, yeah, but lots of my strategies that I previously worked were like you could locate the points and things or go high or go low, like mainly go low because of best hand tournaments can't do. So it made it more like normal for me. But it also meant you would occasionally get some flat boards that you're like, like it's really hard to keep scoring really good if those boards sneak in.
Yeah, I mean, I think Robot Bridge Robot Bridge is bridge with an asterisk to begin with, right? There's a huge part of the game is figuring out, how to manipulate or otherwise, get information from or trick the robots or whatever else in ways that, you probably either couldn't do or at least would be quite different with humans. And so, to me, I think I guess the going from best hand to not best hand is almost like a completely, a third completely different game, right? Because one of the more frustrating things with robots is simply, defending with robots is really hard.
Yeah.
Because there's not much in the way of signaling. You're kind of on your own. Right. It's like playing with, a partner who hasn't quite learned, we're giving count here or we're giving attitude here or whatever else. And so, you wind up with just a different set of problems that to me are honestly not as interesting and not as enjoyable because they're kind of unsolvable, right? Like, you lead an ace against some contract from ace king, dummy puts down queen third, right? And partner plays a card and you're like, well, who knows, right? Like, it's a card. It doesn't really have any meaning here. Maybe, okay, it's the lowest one, so it has less meaning, or okay, it's a high one, so probably we can work out declare as another one or something like that. But it's not, it doesn't have the same sort of nuance and same sort of trickery that you can do with best hand. And I think just in general, sitting back and watching the robots have some auction, and having a swing either because maybe you chose to overcall or not overcall, and so they play the hand differently or whatever. Like, it feels way more random in a bad way. So I think that at the very least, if starting off a tournament with best hand, it's better to keep best hand the whole way through, just because it's bridge with one asterisk, bridge with two asterisks, like they all rhyme with bridge, right? They all have a lot of the same strategy, same card plays, same all of these things, but the involvement of robots does make it a different game each time.
I think that's a good point, actually. I know I understood it normally, but the fact you're going to defend more when it's not best hand, and defending is a lot harder than trying to con two bots. Now you've got one bot you're trying not to con and two bots you are trying to con. It becomes a different issue, yeah. And sometimes they false guard you when it's no benefit as well. Like, I give up for discard on one of them.
There's also just like one of the most tilting hands I had in the finals.
Be careful, I might not have played it.
Right now, I'm not going to speak about it in any specific terms, but it was a board where I got to watch as the robot used my earlier bidding and whatever else to donate, I think, 3 trips on defense. And I'm sure my earlier bids might not have been,
correct,
right? But it feels a little bit frustrating when you take an action in the bidding that normally it is certainly in a best hand context is totally fine, and then you just get to watch your entire world fall apart with no ability to signal and be like, hey, stop doing that horrible thing or anything else, right?
Should have planned
Yeah,
ahead.
I think it's a little bit too frustrating for me. Like it's a different game,
Yeah.
right?
If
And
you,
I find the best hand version of this to be more enjoyable from a alternate bridge standpoint.
Yeah, I can understand that. But more importantly, you will have done very well leading up to this. Have you got a good hand for us?
I have. I had a few that I picked out, but I picked. There's a few that are sort of the, let's say, tinkering or abusing robots type thing, and a few of like, I can't believe I got away with this. But I decided to be a little bit more boring, and pick a hand that was just kind of a generally cool hand. Robots or not. So, we'll start with my awe-inspiring auction.
I like it.
I actually don't hide majors as much as many people do, I think. But when I have, okay, maybe a little bit, but when I have positional stuff in the other major, I just this is of course a hand from the semifinals as well. So because it's best hand, unless partner has 4-card heart support and shortness, we probably don't have a slam. So I was just like,
or
okay,
7 clubs maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to shoot out 3-0 and see what happens. So I got a heart lead because robots do that. That is the other advantage, is that when you deny majors, robots like to lead majors and like to lead passively in general. So hiding your long and strong suits sometimes is nice because robots will find any excuse to lead them. So heart lead, I have 9 easy tricks off the top. I have a spade trick. I can build a spade trick for 10, and it's a little bit unfortunate seeing the dummy because. I have in hearts, I have a spade loser, and because partner has this doubleton diamond, I probably can, I can rough at least 1, probably 2 diamonds.
Yeah.
So this doesn't look fair, right? Because it's match points. Certainly I need 11 tricks, and I may even need 12 tricks to sort of make up for my we'll call them failures in the bidding.
Indiscretions.
Yes, indiscretion.
You've got chances for 12, I think.
I do. So I won the heart and started with the spade to the queen because I might as well knock out the spade while I still have transportation. They they still don't know that I have this heart suit going on, and I don't really want to make pitches from dummy this early. So I spade to the queen. They won the ace and returned another heart. And if they keep plugging away, maybe they'll manage to set up a heart trick for themselves eventually. But
8th round of hearts.
On the next board, perhaps. So I actually won this in hand, seeing that hearts were 4-1. And righty pitching a club is kind of interesting because, with humans, right? People, yeah, exactly, idle fifth, right? People, especially if they do it sort of quickly and painlessly, you can read into it a little bit and say, oh, well, maybe they have, 5 cards there. With robots, you can't quite make that same assumption because
they probably haven't got 4 though.
If they do have 4, they probably have either 4 really good ones or 4 really bad ones.
Yeah, but they're looking at 4 in dummy and they might not pitch one.
Exactly. So, yeah, but to be fair, they also think their partner has 6 hearts. So,
True.
There's so I won this and figured I would see how we're doing, at least play a spade to the 10, and that held. So that was we're getting somewhere now because now we have 2 spades, 5 hearts, and 4 tricks in the minor. So that we're up to 11. And so, now the question is, can we find some sort of something for a 12? So I started by cashing the king of spades because I really didn't need that anywhere. And I see the jack, so I still don't. The jack could be honest or it could be dishonest because we still don't know where that last spade is.
Yeah, so you should, like, for those that don't know, you should always play the known card. Like, people know where the jack of spades is because of the spade to the 10. So if West had the jack and
it's the
8 or 9,
yeah, then
they should always play the jack because they're now equals, but it's harder for them to tell.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think the fact that I think East is more likely to have it though because he's played the 9 of spades and they might not have done that from 9xx in case you can finesse their partner again.
Yeah,
it's a possibility. There's also some weird restricted choice thing too that West, if they were 4-4 in the majors, if it was a human West, right, they might have chosen to lead a spade.
Yeah.
Other than a heart. But with a robot West, I don't think that's as strong of an inference because the robot is actually going to choose to lead their weaker major a lot of the time because at least with double dummy simulations, often leading from strength winds up blowing a trick some of the time, and sometimes you can recover by leading passively anyway, right? And reality is often quite different from that, but so it feels like righty has the spade. Or at least is a little bit more likely to have the spade, but it's figuring out the nuances of robot carding is, it's always an interesting endeavor. So at this point, now it seemed prudent to just run the hearts. I can afford to pitch a club safely on this one. I noticed, righty pitched a diamond this time around on that one, and they pitched another diamond on this one, which is interesting. So, it's not really clear who's guarding what here, right? It looks like we probably have a squeeze somewhere, but we have to figure out where.
It depends who's got the last spade, isn't it? Because if it's West, you want to squeeze West in spades and clubs, and if it's East, right, you want to squeeze East in spades and diamonds.
Yeah, exactly. So I played my last heart, and West pitched a club, which at this point it's still not at all clear, right? West might have, but I haven't seen West. West has only made one pitch. I haven't seen West pitch. They didn't pitch a diamond, right? And righty didn't overcall in diamonds. Now, granted, they don't have very much in the way of high cards, but if they had 6 diamonds or something, they might have been able to find an overcall. So I don't know. To be honest with you, when I play these, I play a little faster, especially like the semifinals and the qualifying rounds. I'm just kind of breezing through. I don't think I necessarily took that long, to decide what to do. But I will say that sort of whatever vibes made me feel like West maybe had the spade card. So I actually decided to give up the spade here. And it turns out that because at least I guess I'll give a little spoiler here. West was the one with the 4th spade, and so now I'm actually just going to show all the hands because it's a little easier here. So now West had unguarded clubs, leaving East to be squeezed in the minors.
Wow. And
so East unguarded diamonds, and so now I was able to cash a couple clubs, and the diamonds came up.
And but what's interesting? What was the last diamond you made?
The 7.
The 7.
Yes, that's the other reason I picked this hand. I did do it. Yes. There we go.
So maybe West can beat you by discarding a diamond, but maybe they think their guard squeezed. They can't afford a small diamond.
They actually can't because
it's a double squeeze, right?
Right. So if they discard a diamond,
yeah,
then now I need to read the hand well, right?
Yeah.
If I made the same read that I did and pitched a spade, I'm done, right? Yeah. But instead, I can pitch a diamond from dummy, right? And now East gives up their club guard. Now I play a diamond to dummy, a club to my hand.
Oh, and it's a
right?
double
And
squeeze.
now, exactly. Now I actually have a double squeeze, where or well, actually at this point it's
non-simultaneous.
non-simultaneous.
Yeah.
Right.
Very
Like
nice.
East was sort of East was squeezed in diamonds and clubs.
But a few
They had
ticks
to give up
earlier,
a
yeah.
club, and now I have a simple squeeze on West.
Oh, very nice.
So yeah, it was a cool ending. I got to beer for my troubles, and most importantly, I did get to take 12 tricks,
Which is
so I did beat all the people who
hearts.
foolishly actually showed their majors.
Oh, congratulations! Well done.
Thank you. But I won't show you the 10 times that I hid my majors and wound up in stupid things going down 4.
All right, Pete, my great rival. Can you beat that?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure about that, but we'll see what we can do. All right. So I got this hand. I thought this had interesting bidding as well. It's got my whole auction. I elected to open my weaker minor on this one. I went 1 heart, and then it went 3 clubs. So I was kind of regretting my action here. But I was like, I've just got a flat 12 count. Importantly, support doubles are off. If I had doubled clubs, it was just like strong rebiddable clubs. So I just passed. And then partner came in with a double of 3 clubs. And I did not know what I should be doing here. Like, what are your thoughts?
I think you tend to default to bidding 3 hearts first.
I think so too, yeah.
If partner cares about spade, if partner's 4-4 in the majors, they can bid 3 spades over 3 hearts, and maybe you survive. These like if you were a little stronger, you might even bid 4 clubs, right? And just, hey, I'm good for both.
Yeah, I agree.
But,
I think with 4 hearts, you have to sort of stretch and bid 3 hearts when you can. So when you bid 3 hearts here, partner should expect you to have 3 more often than 4. A lot more often than 4, I think.
Yeah. I
went for similar thing, bid 3 hearts. That got raised to 4. And here's the hand.
Oh, good.
So...
Well, it's nice. It's nice that it's best hand, so partner is limited to a 12 count. That's always good.
Yeah, we don't have enough points. We don't have enough trumps, but here we are. All right. So here, the opponent started with the top club, and now switched to a low spade. So looking here, I've got 2 club losers. I have 7 trumps missing the queen, so I want to pick up the queen of hearts. It's going to be awkward if hearts don't behave particularly nicely. This spade lead's nice, but I do still have a deep spade loser. I'm largely trying to keep this hand down to like 1 spade and 2 clubs. It's sort of like what I was shooting for at this stage. So I went low and got the jack here. And I noticed that... important pips missing, so I'm just missing the king and the 9. My 8-7 seem kind of useful here, and I didn't have anything particularly good to do at this stage. I wasn't sure who I wanted to play for the queen of hearts. It looks like East had like ace, king, queen of clubs, but they still had room for the queen of hearts. But I didn't want to commit in hearts, and I was like, the club's not going anywhere, so I just exited a club to make them have to commit to doing something.
It's dangerous if the spade's a 5-1, I guess. But other than that, I guess if the 5-1, you're just going off anyway, aren't you?
But then also West would have false carded. Usually the robots would have put the 9 of spades in. Like they don't know to false card with the 10 there.
They also they had the 6 to put in as well, right? So the fact that they put in the 10, you can pretty much take it to the bank. I think that East has 3 spades, and probably it's 9-6 small at this point.
Or just the 9, because I don't think you'd put the 6 in from King 10-6, would you?
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
So here, the bots were very friendly to me. So one of my problems was finding that Queen of Hearts. And not only that, the Nine of Hearts,
That's a really good
incredibly
heart to
valuable
see.
heart there.
You still haven't found the Queen of Hearts yet.
There it
Okay.
is.
Now I have. So at this stage, I was like, oh, great. So it looks like most of my problems are over here. So I drew trumps. And they were actually 3-3. So that was fantastic. And now I played a diamond.
I see.
Yeah. What now?
I think you throw Weston with the third spade to lead away. With the fourth diamond to lead away from the king of spades, do you?
Yeah. So here I crossed back and now play my final heart and exit my diamond. And now they have to lead a spade away from their king. Now they came out the king in case it crushes my queen, because again, from the bidding, I should still have another club.
Mm-hmm.
So they were trying to squish that, but they were strip squeezed, and they had to exit their spade. So here was the full layout. So incredibly friendly.
You didn't need to do that. You could have just set up a third spade to throw a diamond away.
Right. Right. You can take the Queen of Spades off.
What you did look better, Pete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stylish.
Like,
yeah.
I know the layout, so I'll just go for it. So, yeah. Who just sets up suits? That's dumb.
Yeah, you didn't need that. That was very nice. Yeah. So how did that score for you?
This scored me about 80% for it. Yeah. It was tough to get better scores than that, but I like this one. A nice little 4-3 fit.
Yeah, well, you missed the most obvious penalty pass ever. If they're good enough to open, they're good enough to defend on the 3 level, aren't they?
Yeah.
Got to get that 500.
That is true. Yeah, it doesn't
teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
No,
cool,
they're
man.
stuck.
Yeah. Very nice.
So, yeah, I thought one of the cute things here was I didn't want to guess the heart straight away and just exiting the club and sort of postponing my choice there.
I think that's fine. I think that's fine. They're not going to have 8 clubs, are they? So they're always going to get in with something in cash a club later, aren't they?
Now, I think that they could have given their partner a diamond rough, which would have been annoying. But besides that.
Oh, maybe that's what East was trying, because they ducked the club, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they didn't, they tried to get partner in with maybe a spade for a diamond rough.
Yeah. And their partner was totally on the same page and played trumps at their first bottom.
All right. Okay. So which one is it? Is it that one? All right. This is a hand I played not in the finals, obviously, because I still haven't finished them yet. And as hands go that I've submitted, it's not the most interesting hand. It's just a couple of technical points.
You're selling it well.
Yeah. So I'm in one no trump. I hope you're okay with me opening a no trump on this. Like most bids to me look like a no trump, and they lead a diamond. So how many tricks do we think we're going to make here?
Usually my solution is I play some cards and find out how many tricks I wind up making.
So we're going to make some number of spades. Hopefully that's the suit we're going to play on. We've got 1 or 2 diamonds depending what happens, and we've got 2 hearts. So let's say we lucky and we get 2 diamonds and 2 hearts, and 3 spades. We might get to 8 tricks, I think, if everything's nice, assuming we get 2 diamond tricks. But what diamond do you play at trick 1? Because you kind of don't have many entries to dummy, and you kind of want to be playing spades off dummy at some point, don't you?
Yeah, but I like that 9 of diamonds. They might have led low from Jack 10.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think if the king of diamonds is on side, you can always make the queen on a later trick. But like Pete said, they might have led low from the jack and the 10. Or the king might even be singleton with East. East might supply the king, even if they haven't led, when they have led from Jack 10, they might supply the king anyway. So I think it's correct to play low at trick 1. You don't need to rush the guess. If you had Queen X, now it's more interesting if you've got Queen X of diamonds and Ace 9X in hand, I think, because now you've only got one shot to try and make a second diamond trick. But here,
I think with Queen X, you definitely should play Queen. Right?
Say again? Yeah,
I think if you're queen X and dummy, you definitely should play queen.
Unless you know
But
they
here
never
you
lead from the king.
have the luxury of sort of a double. You have a couple chances, and you also have some chances of missed defense and other things too.
So I think it's right to play low, but again, some people might think it's a guess, and I don't think it is. And the 7 of diamonds comes in. So what's happening now? Well, I think Pete's line is probably right. They probably have led from the Jack 10 of diamonds and East with King 7 Doubleton or King 7X or something. Can't afford to play the king. So we win. We win the first diamond with a 9. And the bad news is we're in the wrong hand to play on spade. So what should we do now?
So either the king of hearts or a low spade, maybe.
So I think this is a sort of knowing the robots a little bit situation where looking at this spade suit and dummy, right? 8 third. If I put the robots on lead, the robots are pretty light. They might continue diamonds, especially if righty gets on lead or something. Or sorry, if lefty gets on lead. But if righty gets on lead, they're probably going to actually play spades for me.
Only when the spades are offside, I think. I think if he says king to 4 spades, they might not, or king jack to 4.
Maybe, but if they play spades for me, they're helping me out one way or the other, and I do have the 9 and 8 of spades that might be useful for some stuff. So I'm pretty happy. I think just playing the king of hearts out of my hand and seeing him, maybe they will, and that'll be nice. And if not, then at least I built a dummy entry and can do some stuff later.
So I went with Pete's route. I think the king of hearts is also fine. I went with Pete's route and I played a small spade. And the other way for knowing the tendencies from the robots is when West plays small, they narrow down a ton of the possible combinations they can have. So what combinations can they now not have? Well, let's just see what happens. What combinations of spades can West now not have when it goes small, small, 8, 10? Can they have king, jack, X?
No.
I think they put the jack in, don't they? The robots. Can they have king X? That's a bit dubious. Can they have jack X? No, I think they take the jack. No. Can they have? So what we've done now is what possible spade holdings could West have now where they've still got one of the higher spades? I think it's only king 3rd, I think, and maybe sometimes king Doubleton. Just from the robots' possibilities. They might not always go in with the king from king Doubleton. With king small, small, they can duck it. But with king jack X, they put the jack in. And with king jack to 4, they put the jack in, I think. They can't risk the 8 winning.
Jack 3rd, they probably duck, but if we play the next spade from north, we'll see the king appear.
Correct, yeah. So yeah, that's not a holding we need to cater for. So if there's king to 3 with West anyway, we've potentially lost out on making 4 spade tricks because East would have had jack 10 tight. Okay, and if G said jack 10 tight, then we actually had 4 spade tricks and we've now not got them anymore. But the bonus is when you now know that if West can't have the jack of spades, the next spade you can play a spade to the 9. If East doesn't play it, you'd think. So we get a bit lucky now. So we got lucky at trick 1 by playing a dime to the 9, and we get a bit lucky now. They switched to hearts for us, which is what Adam said. If we played anything else, he'd probably switch to spades, because that's dummy's weakest suit. But here we played spades, so for whatever reason, they've switched to hearts, which is dummy's next weakest suit. And East might not want to switch from the king of diamonds. So we play the jack for 2 reasons. One, you want them to take the ace of hearts, because you're going to get 2 heart tricks when they do. And 2, if we play the king and they duck it, we actually are in the wrong hand. So we play the jack of hearts, and if West doesn't play the ace, we can play the queen. But West plays the ace, that's good for us, and because then they play another heart. So we win the queen of hearts. And now what? Well, we're going to go back to playing spades, aren't we? And just like Pete said, if West has king to 3, we're going to lose another spade. But if West has jack to 3, East's remaining spade will be the king. So when we play a spade off dummy and East plays small, what do we do? The only time it's right to play the ace is when West had king Doubleton. But they might not always duck with that.
So you put in the 9?
Yeah, so you put in the 9. Oop, no, I didn't. I did put the 9 in. Oh, what's going on here? I've got the wrong thing.
You got to open up all the cards.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that, aren't I? So I did put the 9 in, and West showed out. They played the 3 of diamonds. So we're now in a position where we actually made 4 spade tricks with spades being 4-1. And we don't actually have many legitimate entries to dummy. We don't have a diamond entry. We do have a heart entry, but it's obviously we need them to play hearts first, because if they take our ace of clubs out, they've got a few cashes. And we can now just check the king of diamonds doesn't fall. And then we can cross to the ace of clubs. And we can take the remaining spade finesse. And we've got 2 spades and the king of hearts for 9 tricks. So
now the real question is that actually how you played it, or do you just like make up all your stories?
I played this and I had to reconstruct the hand. The hand here. I don't know where the regional file is.
A likely story.
But it's just an interesting hand, I think, just from robot tendencies. Now a human might even duck with Jack X. When you play a spade to the 8, they might duck with Jack X. They might duck with Queen X. They might duck with King X. They'll definitely duck with King X or a human. But a robot, their temptation to think you're swindling them and think, well, it doesn't cost. I'll take the Jack because it's falling next time anyway. And there we go, making 9 tricks. It was not in an eBridge qualifier. It was just in a random pairs tournament. So I scored some percentages that didn't really matter. So.
No, just pretend it is the eBridge thing and own up to like.
Yeah, it was a qualifying hand. No, I've run out of good ones then. I didn't have that many in the semi-final, so.
To be fair, you did have the best hand at least.
I did, yes. It was a best hand tournament. So, that was not that interesting compared to normal. But again, what you're doing when you're playing these robot tournaments is you're trying to learn the robot tendencies, because the more tendencies you know, the more times you can predict when they can and can't have certain things based on the play so far.
Yeah, there's a bit of that, and then there's also the sort of the other side of that is you can exploit some of their tendencies. On this hand, playing the King of Hearts feels like something that you wind up most of the time they're going to play a spade for you
if East wins it, yeah.
Right, and the same thing like with Pete's hand exiting a club, getting them to play a trump. Right.
That was very nice, wasn't it? Because you probably weren't getting your hearts right, were you, Pete, if you played them yourself?
Well,
when they turn with ace king,
I know I got that, but they did jump to 3 clubs in my suit, so I would have been thinking about the hand for a while to still try and locate it.
Well, you find out that they have 7 clubs and 3 spades, and it doesn't feel so good to play them for the Queen of Hearts on top of all.
Okay. Without risking a diamond off. Right, so we are nearly halfway through. You guys are halfway through. I'm not quite. How have you done so far? What was your percentage, Pete? What was your percentage, Adam? If you want to say.
Yeah. So I had like a mixed bag. I had like some good stuff that came in, but boy, I had some boards that just like, oh man, that hurts. I had too many of those where it's like, but still doing all right. I'm about 54%.
I think any score above 50% in this field is good.
Yeah.
What about you, Adam?
Well, how do you feel about a score that's not 50%? I think I'm right around 50. I too had a bunch of boards that were really good, or actually in my case they came towards the end. I started off really bad. I just had like 3 or 4 boards where I was like, oh God, this is just horrible. Things going down 4 and that sort of thing. A couple of those, a couple of the defense things that I mentioned, and whatever else. And so as it went on, I started off trying to be sort of low variance, just aiming for like a good solid whatever. And then I remembered that it's robot bridge, and that's not how that works. And after I had a few bad boards, I went back to sort of my normal style, which was, I should have probably stayed the same from the beginning in hindsight, but I managed to make it back to average, like Claude and fought, and yay.
I'm 25 boards down. I filmed all of it for YouTube later, and I've got 2 definitely bad boards, and I've got 2 definitely good boards. And then I think every time I play a board, I'm like, could I have done any better? And when I say no, I'm like, should be good then, but it probably won't be. I have no idea. So honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea what my situation will be. I have none whatsoever. I've got no gauge because I'm not getting percentages as I'm playing it. So I don't know how that annoyed you or that changed what your plans were. But like if I was running on 45% now, would I swing for tops? It's probably good that they don't show the percentages as you're going, because they don't want people to stop trying near the end. They don't want people to give up without, with 10 boards to play or something. So
yeah, I actually prefer that. During the semi-finals, I learned that I played better when I played the tournament like the minute it opened, so I didn't have comparisons. Because when I'd be playing, I'm like, why isn't that better? I'm like, come, are you serious? Like,
yeah,
I thought that was so good. And yeah, so when it didn't have that, I could just be like, okay, I'm playing. Sure, that's a good board. Of course, that's a good board. And then I just move on and don't worry. And then at the end, find out that I scored 30% on a board you end played someone or something.
Yeah.
And you're not phased at it. So yeah, I like not having the scores, even though I reckon technically it should be an asset to have them. For me, it was not. So
it was for me. It was for me mostly because, like, if I would have if I would start off a set with a bad score, I would just go bonkers on the remaining boards, and the number of times, like, obviously that didn't work all the time, but a few of the times it did. In fact, I think one or two of my sessions that did wind up actually scoring, right? Like, I had a couple 66s or something that, I started off with a 3% board, right? And then I just ran, 90, 95, 95, whatever through the rest of them. And, if I didn't, then okay, whatever,
For me, it only really mattered with one board to go. If I'm close to a qualifying score and I know I need a top, I'll play for a top. That's the only time otherwise I'm just because I'm filming most of the stuff I'm playing, so I'm not purposely trying to do badly. So the only time I really used the fact I knew what my percent was when I had one board to go or two boards to go, and I know to get a score that will count, otherwise my session's pointless, I need to get a top. So or not a bottom or whatever, whatever you're doing. You might play down the line if you're on 65% and 62 is your lowest. You might think, I'm just going to play for a flat board just to make sure this improves my percentage. So, all right. So another week to go on a different site now. So things are going to change, and obviously different bots to take account of. So I wish you well, and I hope we both all stay above 50%, because that will be an impressive feat to finish the final with over 50. Are you going to do anything once we change sites, or are we just going to play normal stuff?
So during the qualifying, I also played on Funbridge and qualified there too. And yeah, I felt like normal stuff was like trying wild stuff failed more on Funbridge. So
yeah, I found that there are a few little tricks I can do, but not many. I tried a few tricks, and there's only one or two of my BBO tricks work in the same way. So I do fewer tricks, and again, it's because it's not best hand bridge.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably be swinging a bit, given that being average on both doesn't sound all that appealing, and so I'll be probably aiming something.
Tops or bottoms.
Aiming for something that might get me close to a top 10 or top 20, and or perhaps more likely dying trying.
All right.
So we'll find out.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Adam. It's nice to have you. Thanks for the hand you gave. Obviously, Pete, nice to see you as usual. And I've been Steve, and we will be back with another video with another guest or two, talking about our performance in the second half, as well as a final wrap up towards the end of the month as well. So thanks for watching. If you have got any comments or hands or anything, put them down below. As again, can Steve beat Pete's 54%? I'm not so sure. I haven't got any complete disasters, but I don't think I've got any gold. So we will have to wait and see, and we'll let you know in the next video where the current rivalry stands. So thanks for joining us both. And I'll see you next time.
Right.
See ya.
Bye. One more thing, we've now got provisional results for all three of us. Basically, I had to wait until I played my boards, but we've got 3 results in for you now. We've got in third place with a score of 49.67. We have Adam. In second place with a score of 53.67, we have Pete. And I finished mine just now, and I've got a provisional score of 54.36. So it's close, but I'm ahead, and that's what counts. They might not be completely accurate. They could still jostle about a bit because people still haven't finished. But at the end of effectively the first half of our play, Team Steve is just ahead of Team Pete, and Adam's still there about 50%. So work to do. We can see maybe what the leaders got shortly when all the results are in, and then we're going to move on to the second half, which is on a different site, Funbridge, and hopefully I can keep my lead. So thanks for joining us. See you in the next video where we get to see some new hands, new guests, and see how everyone's continuing to do.